Hello traders, this is Matt from SBS Price Action. Last week I talked about Euro US dollar on a daily time frame, and I was showing a chart similar to this. This is the screenshot that I took last week when I was recording the video that I recorded last week. And if you watched the video, I hope you still remember that I talked about the rebound that I was expecting to happen around this area and price to fall back to this area, and this is what exactly happened in the previous week. And today I'm going to give an update of this tutorial that I recorded last week, and I'm going to talk again about what I'm expecting this price to move in this week that we are beginning on Monday. And before I talk a lot about this, please bear in mind that these tutorials are for educational purposes only. So this is what happened in the previous week from Monday, the Monday candlestick, to the Friday candlestick, which closed. As you can see, it was a strong move from the point that I indicated last week that it could be our resistant area. So on this tutorial, I'm going to talk about how this pair could move in the following week. So you need to listen attentively. And before I talk about the movement, let me just explain my trend lines. As you can see, I have this trend line that is from this point. Let me indicate the point that I'm talking about. This point, it touched that point, and we have this touch again, following several touches around this area, and we have this small trend that is inside the big trend. Let me zoom in so that we can see clearly. As you can see, we have this small channel which is these touches, from this touch to this touch to this touch again, this touch, several touches, and a breakout which happened here following some retest which happened around again this area, and a move upwards to this area which is our resistant area, because it has been respected on this. We have several lows here and a breakout which happened at this point. We have several lows again around this area, and several lows again at this point, and several highs, and each and every trend line, horizontal line that you are seeing on this setup is very important, and you need to respect it. So this is what we have currently. So what would happen in the next week? Before I talk about anything else, please bear in mind that our major trend line is likely to be hit anytime from now, which is the trend line that I'm talking about is this line which is going down there. So I'm saying anytime price would need to reach our support line anytime. Okay, so this would happen after maybe some months, I'm not so sure, but let me talk about the current movement that would happen during this week. Okay, as you can see, there's something which is almost similar. It's like an equidistant trend or pattern which is forming on from this point. Let me draw it. We have this point joining this one. Let me indicate the exact area, that the exact point that are important on this channel with this point. And as you can see, we have several highs at this point. Okay, this is the channel that we have. Okay, the reason why I draw this channel is because we have a rebound which happened here following price respect at this area, then back to this point. And from this point, it was very predictable that the price would bounce back to go back again and respect our support line at this point. So what will happen in the following week? So we have two things that we are expecting to happen in the following week. As you can see, the price is going down. It means we are still bearish. So anytime the price would need to come and respect this point that it respected last 2 weeks back, so price would need to come to respect this trend line, which is this trend line, which is at 1.09963. So the price would need to come to respect this area, and anything may happen from this point. It either if it breaks this area, which means if maybe it's on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, if we see a candlestick closing below this area, we may see the price continue to fall or to this point on our support of this trend line. And since it's a channel, the price is likely to hit both sides of the channel, which means this movement may happen, bounce back, go back to that point, and maybe something like this. I'm expecting this to happen since it's a channel. But remember, keep in mind that channels, they break anytime. So we need to expect anything from this point. But before we conclude that the price is certainly going to our resistant line, we need to keep in mind that we still have this horizontal line which is important, and the price will either respect that horizontal line. Maybe if it fails to break, it will close above this area, and maybe we see a candlestick, a hammer candlestick, which will close above this area, and a rebound is likely to happen back to our support line. So a close below this line will expose our trend line at this point, which we also have this horizontal line. So at the point where the support, I mean the resistant line, which is this line, and the horizontal line, which could act as our supply and demand zone, at this angle, it's a very important point that we are expecting the price to reach. So it means the price would need to come from the current price to this angle and respect that area, because this angle is where we have two important lines, the resistance and the supply and demand zone, which is going this direction. And from this point, anything may happen. It bounces back to this support line, which is this line, and anything may happen. It may bounce back to maybe our resistance, then support again, or else if it goes back to our support line at this area, we may expect to see a breakout since the price hasn't reached the main trend line for several months. So we may expect the price to break this small trend and go back to our major trend line. Okay, so friends, you need to keep in mind that these videos are for educational purposes only, and I will not be responsible for any any loss of money that will happen when you take this as a signal. So keep in mind that I'm doing this for educational purposes, and I'm sure if you watch my videos, you learn something, and you learn how to draw trend lines, how to analyze the market, how to identify important areas on your chart, how to identify how to set your stop loss, and how to set your take profits, because you need to keep in mind that when you are drawing your setup, you need to highlight every important area on your chart, because if you ignore some of the things, you will regret when the price goes against you. So you need to keep in mind that every point that the price has previously respected, you need to indicate it so that you come up with a good setup that you never regret. And you need to know that if you draw your code setup, you won't be surprised if you see any price movement. You will know everything that would happen, and you can predict anything that would happen. And let me tell you that if you are facing any challenge about trading, I know a lot of people are failing to trade because of several reasons, maybe because of greatness, because maybe they are not able to analyze the market, and several reasons. Feel free to contact me. I can either train you, and don't forget that I'm also doing an investors account, and if you have your own big account, you can contact me. I can assist you to trade your account. So feel free, guys, to contact me. I will put my details in the description of this video, and feel free to comment again on your thoughts about the movement that you are expecting to happen in the following week on this pair. And thank you guys for watching my video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that whenever I upload a video, you will get it in time. And you can also join my WhatsApp and my Telegram channel so that when I post a video, you will be the first to watch. And um, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys. Let's meet in the following week of trading.